Okay, let's talk about how to start a jelly roll rug. So you're going to start with your starting strip. You're going to need some pins, a measuring tape, and possibly a little iron. So the length of your starting strip is going to depend on what size rug you want. I'm going for a long oval rug, so my start is going to be 28. If you're looking for like a 2x4 size rug, you're going to want to start with 24 inches. That gives you a nice oval rug. So I'm clasping where my mark is here, and that's where I'm going to actually start my first fold here. So this is how I start mine. You do a fold over like that and then a fold down like this. It kind of makes like a little triangle top. So this is what mine looks like. And then I pin it all the way down until I get to the bottom. When you get to the bottom, your long side is going to be on the right. You want it to be on the right. So that way, as you're sewing, it's going to be feeding the correct way and the rug will be getting bigger on the left side. So this is how you're going to want it to look. The path to sew is going to be straight across here. I started doing that now and I love doing that. I used to just sew straight down. So you sew across and then we're going to go straight down here until we get to down here. And here is where I do a fold. It's just similar to the top fold. You're going to fold this to the left, this side here. It's a little tricky to do here, but see here. Now I like to have it so that you got to visualize where that zigzag's going to catch to see how far you want to pin your overlap on that piece of fabric that's the end part right there at the bottom. I hope that makes sense. Then you have to tuck it back up. Here is what it looks like, and I pin it all in place so that it stays, and this is the direction I sew. It's going to go down and over and back up like that, and you're going to turn it as you go. Let's go over sewing the first strip of your jelly roll rug. You just need a sewing machine that has a zigzag stitch. Firstly, I sew across this little flap here in the fold. My previous video shows you how to fold and pin this to get to this point. So you're just going to zigzag stitch down the center here. The setting I like to use is 5 and 2.5. As you do these, you'll learn and figure out which one you like best. I just like to keep my left hand like this. It kind of helps keep the material straight. You want these two pieces to be as straight as possible as you're sewing down so you don't get any curves. So take your time. I'm going to take the pins out as I go and down further. Be sure you're not pushing or pulling on the fabric too much. Just let the machine do the work. I like to use a walking foot. I feel like this helps a lot as I'm sewing these. I'm taking out more pins as I'm getting further down to the end. I'm going to be coming down here to where the end is, and we're going to be going around that. So again, you just take your time, making sure that everything's in place. I usually like to press with my iron the ends just to help kind of keep them flat and down. So you can do that. You kind of learn as you go with this. You see how far you want to overlap this little piece right here. It's just kind of what you find you like as you go. So as we get down here, you're going to sew just until you get above the flap. So just take your time, go slow, and once that needle hits above over that flap, you're going to stop it, and you're going to leave your pin down, and you're going to swing it over. You want to make sure that that zigzag stitch is going on both sides of this flap, and you're going to come down. And then once you get over that fold there where you're going to be coming back down the sew, you leave your needle down again and twist it over to where you need to be, and then you're going, if you need to, see I just realigned it just a smidge, and start back down your path here. So then you can just straighten it all out like I'm doing here. Make sure that everything's nice and even and gentle, no pulling and tugging here. I'm just kind of letting the fabric glide as I'm sewing it. Sometimes if I notice that like my fabric is starting to like look like it's gonna curl a little, like as in I'm not like getting it straight, this long piece, I kind of just tug it in the opposite direction a little, just a light gentle tug, and then straighten it all out and keep going. That's worked for me to get my middle center not to be funky like. And then down here is where I'm going to pin and stop, because that's where I'll be going around and stuff. I have videos showing how I do that as well. So here you can see the stitches. I'll go across that flap, and then I go all the way down here and across that other flap down here and back around. Let me know if you have any questions.